All right, it's time for us to talk sport on Global Television. My name is Anthony Momodi, the king of sport, and yesterday was amazing in the exciting world of sport, taking you to Germany. It was France taking on Spain, and like they say, when it rains in Spain, it pours, and last night was super amazing as we got the Spaniards put the French team to the sword. It was a 2-1 victory, and the 16-year-old boy who went to Germany, who went to the Euros with his homework, got the job done, and he did his assignment so well that he broke the French hearts last night. It was Yamal Jamal's night last night, and I don't know, the man who does his business of talking sport analysis, I don't know if he did watch the match, because something tells me he was somewhere else doing something, I don't know, shady.
I don't do shady
Samuel,
stuff.
You're looking guilty already.
No, not looking guilty. I look good. I thought that was what you wanted to say. I look good.
I was almost going to say that word. All right, indeed, I love your tie, and like you know the tradition after the program,
yes,
you have to lose that tie. It's not yours anymore. All right, how was last night?
Well, last night was amazing. Like you said, he went to Spain, to Germany with his homework. With his homework, and
yes. It was yesterday he submitted it to the French teacher.
He submitted it to the French teacher. Everybody had their own share. The class, those in the class got a good report, and then France as well had good response from him. So he hasn't been, amazing all Euros, but he was probably waiting for
the
perfect night and a bigger club, a bigger team, countryside to like show that, okay, you guys think you're here, but I'm actually here. So he showed Mbappe and the entire French side that
he made Mbappe look ordinary.
Like just looks like someone that is an upcoming star. But the kid was amazing last night. Kudos to him. With him, he was able to, prove that yes, Messi that touched him at birth actually left an impact on him.
Oh boy, so that's how we make you welcome to Talk Sport. Indeed, we've got fantastic big stories making the rounds in the world of sport. But let's begin from home, sweet home. Let's say that the Nigerian Football Federation and the Ministry of Interior are in collaboration to use football as a tool for education, skill building, and leadership development among young women who are in correctional centers across the country, in line with the Football for Change project of the Confederation of African Football. The initiative was presented to the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji Ojo, on Tuesday by the delegation of the Nigerian Football Federation led by President Ibrahim Gusau, NFF Executive Committee member and Chairman of the Women's Football Subcommittee, Aisha Falode, presented NFF's initiative titled Football Good Naija, Empower Her, highlighting rising figures of ladies in correctional centers across the country, as well as those waiting for trial and those already convicted. Let's let you know that the Nigerian Football Federation President Gusau told the minister that the federation believes it has services to render to the community at large, apart from the organization of football matches. And that, for me, it's a go-go area. That's something kudos. But it's very disturbing that the amount of females in correctional services is on the increase. So it looks like they say, what a man can do,
the woman can do better. Okay. So nobody should come for us after this statement
for the explanation.
For this explanation. But it's actually good because, it's a very, very good initiative, because it's more like, giving these women and these young ladies a second chance at, at life, at becoming great, and not letting, the past mistakes, the errors you did, just capitalize and judge you and just keep you in a certain level. So with this initiative now, they can come out, start playing football and other sports, and then have a name for themselves and probably erase that part.
Who knows? Maybe one of them could make the national team.
Possibly, if they fit the requirement and then do the work that it entails and decide to forget about the past and then just embrace new things.
All right, we stay talking women. We're in love with our beautiful women in Africa and in Nigeria specifically. Let's talk about our under-17 team. We're talking about the Flamingos. Yes, the Flamingos. Let's let you know that Nigeria under-17 women's team, the Flamingos, will face Mexico in a friendly game as preparations for the under-17 World Cup get underway. Meanwhile, Nigeria are one of the 16 countries that will take part in the World Cup, which will be hosted by the Dominican Republic. The tournament will be held from October 16th to November 3rd. Put that in your diary. Tell them the King of Sport told you so. The draw for the 18th edition of the tournament took place in Santo Domingo on June 22nd with the host of fascinating encounters across the 4 groups. Nigeria were lodged in Group A, which had host Dominican Republic alongside Ecuador and New Zealand, while holders of Spain were placed in Group B with the United States of America, Korea Republic, and Colombia. Other African representatives, we've got Kenya will face Korea. Nice to see Kenya aside running. Now we know they can also play football.
Yes.
So Kenya will face Korea, DPR, Mexico, and England in Group C with Japan, Poland, Brazil, and Zambia, the last African country completing the group. Let's look at for the Flamingos. It seems like we have a Flamingo in the studio, but can't play football.
Yeah, probably we've not assessed the Flamingo in the studio to see if she can be able to play football. But one thing again, I'm happy because the Flamingos are going to be playing this friendlies, and the more interesting part is the fact that the Mexicans actually asked for these friendlies because the under-17 Flamingos now, they are very, very superb and they are very amazing. That's why the Mexican side saw that, okay, these guys are going to be tough in the competition, so let's prep ourselves with a very strong side. So it's great that the Flamingos are getting this opportunity to play.
You're just smiling since we talked about the Flamingo in the studio.
I'm a smiley. I smile a lot and I've got joy. So I just have to smile. I don't have a choice but to smile.
Let's look at Mexico. Would they give that kind of tough preparations we need? We're going to be facing a very good team, as good as the U.S. team. Facing Mexico, is it going to toughen the Flamingos well enough to face a great size like the United States?
Yes, in the previous under-17 World Cup, female World Cup, the Mexicans, they got to the quarterfinals, right? So at least that means they are also a very good team. Yeah. So the under-17 Flamingos now, they are also a good team. So this collaboration or this friendly match is just going to help prep both sides, because one, they are definitely going to play it as a friendly, but I don't think they'll have the mindset of a friendly because they both know the qualities that these two teams have. And for United States, I think it's going to prep, the Flamingos better. And I think they should also play Canada and New Zealand or even Australia, because those are other strong teams.
All right, so we'll be wishing our Flamingos, the girls, the very best of luck. We know they were amazing during the qualifiers, but they need to play tougher opponents to get set, and we wish them the very best of luck as they get set for the 17th FIFA World Cup. All right, let's talk about tennis now. As one man who we know, Quadri Aruna is his name. He's in the news this morning. Just to let you know that Nigerian table tennis sensation Quadri Aruna is among the prominent players who will spearhead the strong lineup for the Ultimate Table Tennis UTT 2024 Players Draft in Mumbai, India, on Wednesday. That's today specifically. Let's let you know that world number 10, Romania's Bernadette Sosic, rising Indian paddler Seraja Akula is on the top 8 stars. 2-star alongside the Nigerian, who is ranked number 16th in the world. The 29-year-old Bernadette will be making her 3rd appearance at the tournament, while Quadri, ranked number 16 in the world, will be returning for his 4th appearance, while world number 17, Mitalehan, will be making her UTT debut this year, as a total of 47 players, including 8 foreign men and women, will be part of the player draft, and 43 players will get drafted into teams. World number 24, Serija, who recently created history by becoming the country's first paddler to win a WTT contender singles title in Lagos, will be among the key attraction among the Indians. The franchise-based league promoted by Niraj Bajaj and Vita Dani under the auspices of the Table Tennis Federation of India has been game changer for Indian tennis since its inception in 2017. In as much as we're happy that Aruna Quadri is going to this tournament in India to get better and also gather more points, but are we so glad or kind of sad the fact that we don't also have other Nigerian tennis stars, even emerging players, having the chance to get drafted into this tournament?
Well, it's sad because one is just currently now there's a table tennis competition going on in Indonesia, and it's just Haruna Quadri who is representing Nigeria. So that is very sad because we need more players. We need more players to get involved with what's happening. It's a good one. It's a win for Nigeria, but because of automatically the green, white, green flag will be flying over there in India, Mumbai. But it's going to be a bigger win if we have like 2 or 3 players who are going to represent the country. That would, give them a different ginger that, yes, not just me, but we'll be able to have enough persons to represent and play. But it's a good one. I think this is like something, a new initiative that's kick-starting. So maybe in the next edition, the next future, we would see other Nigerian table tennis players, emerge and also represent in these competitions.
All right. While we wish Haruna Quadri the very best in that tournament that will be kick-starting. It started in 2017, and this is going to be his 4th appearance. Wish him the very best of luck, and it's time for us to run into the round leader game. You call it the King of Sport Football, and let's talk about the MPFL champions. Talking about Enugu Rangers, you call them the Flying Antelopes. Yes, the big story tells us the Nigerian champions Enugu Rangers look to add 3 foreign players to their flexing ranks in readiness for their CAF Champions League campaign. The big our correspondent told us that the club's media officer, Norbert Okoli, said the players from West African countries in Cote d'Ivoire and Mali were expected to arrive in Enugu yesterday. They were supposed to have arrived yesterday, so we'll be giving updates if they've completely arrived. It's true that they are looking at these players in order to get a better performance at the tournament, talking about the Champions League. So Cote d'Ivoire, Mali, where these players are expected to join. The Flying Antelopes are keen to early birds and also getting prepared early enough so that they can be in good state. Already, Bender Insurance left back Evans Ogbonda, who joined on a 1-year contract, and Bayelsa United midfielder in the person of AKC Okorie. Others are Wobodo, Somto Chukwu, and a midfielder from FC Cincinnati. We also have a player coming from Gerardo Tekena, also a midfielder from Bayelsa United in the person of Anayo Ogbonna, and a forward from Gombe United has also joined the team. Rangers will represent Nigeria in the CAF Champions League and will also defend their MPFL title next season. Assignments which require astute planning, preparation being assiduously put in place by the Amobi Ezuku-led management. And also, they've got the best coach in Nigeria, Fidelis Ilechukwu.
Yes.
Are you confident? Are you satisfied with the efforts put by the Flying Antelopes to ensure that next season at the Champions League they're going to be one of the best, the team to beat? Having 3 players coming from Cote d'Ivoire and Mali shows their intent, and also they've gotten about 4 players from different club sides. We've got in the attack, the midfield. It tells us how keen the Flying Antelopes are.
Looking at this previous season, they suffered a lot in the attack and in the midfield because they win the ball and they give it away easily. So, and again, they also create plays. If they manage to create plays to the attack now, they don't have clinical finishers. So the coach is a very good initiative. It was a very good approach for him to be able to spot that, and then using the prize money now from the championship that they want to rebuild the team and get more players instead of, partying and then, changing jerseys and all of that. But this is a very good approach. Bringing players from abroad shows how big the Nigerian Professional League is getting, and it shows that other players from other continents, other parts of the world also want to come and play in the Nigerian Professional League because of how competitive it's getting. So with this approach now from Fidelis doesn't just want to go to the continent and just represent Nigeria. He wants to leave at a very high mark, meaning he wants to see if Enugu Rangers would be able to clinch the title and again defend their Nigerian Professional League title at the same season. So let's just see how that plans out for them. But the thing now is they need to find synergy and then get to camp early so that they will have good results.
All right, let's look at in terms of the management, how key the management is. Yes, they've got the fantastic coach, but Amobi, who is leading the management team, also ex-player. How key is his commitment? Because we saw Fidelis Anyase Agu did that for the People's Elephant in Yimba, back-to-back wins because he was consistent and very strategic. Do you think that's one good thing going for the Flying Antelopes? The fact that they've got the government backing and they've also got a very key management team. You know,
management is basically everything. That's why they are called management, because if you don't manage the team well, there's no how these guys will be able to perform. And for the government of Enugu State now to be strongly behind them, then it's obviously they are supposed to obviously provide everything that is needed for the team to perform, right? So if they have all of those things needed, then there shouldn't be any reason why the team wouldn't go and perform and then keep winning, titles. Now they were suffering and they were lacking behind a couple of seasons ago, but now because of a lack of coach, quality players and support from the previous administration, now they have all of that. So having all of that now at this point now, it requires them to be able to go and perform. Now with the little support that they've gotten, they were able to win the championship, and then now finding their way to the continent. Getting these new players now, I think is another boost for them, and then their house should be in order.
Yeah, talking about getting new players, these players are from the Francophone-speaking countries, French-speaking countries. Do you see issues of the language barrier for them to, blend with the English-speaking players who obviously are mostly Nigerians?
Yes, that aspect now, I feel since they are bringing Francophone players who may probably understand little or no English, or they speak Pidgin, in other African countries, but their L1, that is their #1 language, is French. So they will obviously need to get interpreters. So I think they had all of that covered.
Even though football is one language.
It's one language, yes, but I'm sure they have all of that covered. So I think it shouldn't be an issue because, one, they want a very reasonable amount of money. So we know they have money. So they shouldn't say they can't, afford to get an interpreter for these players. They went for the players. Obviously, you need to provide everything needed for you to be able to have good communications and play very good football.
All right, wishing the Flying Antelopes the very best, and also the issue of before we run out leaving Enugu Rangers, the issue of the cathedral, talking about the stadium of the Flying Antelopes. How key is that going to be in terms of ensuring that the pitch is in top-notch condition to host Champions League matches and also fortify the cathedral so that we're sure that whenever they have home matches, it's going to be a killer place. Whenever they bring them home, we know they're taking any African team to the slaughterhouse.
Yes, one, they need to...
in terms of supporters also.
Now, in terms of supporters now, they need to like the last match that they had between Enugu Rangers and was it Abia Warriors. They had the stadium super packed.
Yeah, so now there was even complaint about
overflow and all of that. This now, I think they should find a way and then renovate and maybe create more room, because Enugu Rangers now are getting big, and the more they will be playing at home, they are champions. A whole lot of eyes, it's on them. So whenever they are playing at home, they would automatically draw lots of crowd. So I think now the management, so I see boils down to the management. The management needs to also look for ways around to be able to curb that and then, settle that hiccup so that they wouldn't be having, stampeding, and then, players and the home players and the visitors wouldn't have their health and, challenges maybe when the competition is going on.
All right, especially now that they're going to the continent, we'll be having lots of eyes on the Enugu Rangers, the cathedral, and the management of the entire stadium. This is hoping that Nigerians will trip out whenever the Flying Antelopes have got matches to play. All right, from the home front, it's now time for us to run into some other transfer big stories making the rounds. And we've got a big story that AS Roma is targeting knee striker Terry Murphy. He plays for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. So All right, we've got the man pressing the buttons at the MCRO. He's a footballer. He reminds me of Oladimeji Lawal in his playing. He's got this look. It looks like a tricky winger, but yet to see him in action.
That's what you get from Manchester United fans.
Yeah, we're hoping someday he's going to play for the dream team, not the Flying Eagles, because we know he's a more than 21-year-old.
You probably play for the veterans.
Are you saying Samson is 30 plus?
We need to, we've not seen his birth certificate, so probably.
Samson, they say you're using the football age, so we'll find that out. MR test
yes.
Between you and him to know who's older, right? You're younger than him, I guess.
I think I'm younger than him. He has a small body and I'm tall, and also, people like that are usually, ancients of days.
All right, I didn't hear that coming. I didn't see that coming. Even the flamingo in the studio is laughing her heart out. All right, let's move on to the transfer business and leave Samson until he makes it to the national team. Let's take you to Italy, where Roma have added a new name to the list of potential replacement for Belgian striker Romelu Lukaku. With a big Rome gone back to Chelsea following the conclusion of the loan deal. Roma want to secure a strong forward to lead the Daniel De Rossi's team next season, according to an exclusive article by La Roma 24. The Gallerossi have put Nice striker Terry Murphy in their sights. The 25-year-old was signed by Roma director Florent Gusfield from Lorraine during his first days at Nice as sporting director in January 2023 for a total of 25 million euros. Murphy, who is a Super Eagles striker and Nigerian striker, in case you didn't know, Super Eagles meant for Nigeria. Murphy is coming off a positive season with Nice, having scored 11 goals and 2 assists in 32 appearances. That's a good ratio. Does he fit the bill to step into the shoes of Lukaku for AS Roma?
Of course, yes, he does. Looking at the records, most of these goals actually came in off the bench because, he didn't really start because he had a few medical issues and then medical attention that he needed. So he wasn't like on 100% this past season, but yet we see results
11
like this.
Goals, 11 goals in 32. That's average of technically 2 goals.
2 goals, yes. So he fits in very, very well. And yes, Romelu Lukaku has not been at his best, even representing Belgium in just the Euros. He has not been the Romelu Lukaku that we used to know in his early days in Chelsea and when he was at Inter Milan and as well as AC Milan. So I think he's declining. I don't know if age now is catching up with him. Just the way
he was electric in Euros, even though 3 or more of his goals were chalked off by the VAR. He looked very athletic.
Yeah, he did look, but right now I think he's not fitting in properly with the philosophy of AS Roma. So they feel like someone who is younger and who has a brighter future, and despite being injured, I think they feel with his style of play, aggressiveness. We Nigerians are very, very strong, and we are goal-getters, not just in terms of playing football, but when we set our mind to do stuff, we tend to do it right. So looking at Murphy now, coming out from Nice, and then despite injuries, he's still performing well. So I think the Roman side, the Portuguese club now have seen that they've seen great potentials in him, and then the current coach feels there's a way that he can fit into the style of play of AS Roma and then their philosophy. So why not go for him? And he's young and scoring goals. So he's a striker that needs strikers that score goals.
All right, let's see if he's going to make it to the Italian league. So what it means, if he's lucky to make it to the Italian league, we're likely to see not just Victor Osimhen there. We're going to be seeing not Samuel Chukwueze for AC Milan. We're also going to be seeing Terry Murphy probably playing for AS Roma under the guidance of Rossi, legend of Italian football. So we wish the Super Eagles striker the very best of luck. And like Odi did say, he's got aggression. He's more skillful than Lukaku. So hopefully he will do a better job for AS Roma. All right, let's move on to the next talking point and let you know the man called Okoli. Happy to join the Foxes. Yes, Okoli. It reminds me of a line in the Two-Face song. But meanwhile, we're talking football right now, where Caleb Okoli has said he is happy to complete his transfer to the Premier League club Leicester City from Atlanta Atalanta in the Italian Serie A. Meanwhile, central defender Okoli, who is just 22 years old, has signed a 5-year deal till June 2029. The Foxes coughed out 14 million euros for Okoli, and that shows you that this man must be good. The Italy under-21 international, who is still eligible to play for the Super Eagles, has needed more playing time at Atalanta. Last season, he played on loan for Rossini in the Serie A. Okoli, who came through the Atlanta ranks, has also played on a loan at Spal and US Cremonese. My big question is, why do we keep almost losing star players? This should be someone, probably the Super Eagles coach should be in a hurry to want to give him a debut so that he doesn't play for the Italian national team. But for him to join Leicester, that should be technically good news for the Nigerian Football Federation, knowing that Wilfred Ndidi, Kelechi Iheanacho are there. They should be able to convince him to don the green-white-green jersey.
Yes, they should be able to do that because, one, he's like, we can see his age. He's literally
he's a youngster.
He's a youngster, so they should be able to, like, like they say in football, senior man. So use the senior man mentality.
And the senior man is even the guy they call the senior man, senior. That's
Kelechi Iheanacho is still there. So he should find a way to, like, convince him so he could come play for the Super Eagles.
I think Okoli is from the Southeast.
Yeah, he is for the
so they can do that.
Brotherhood kind of stuff, yes, and then
get
him. But now the next coach that would be getting, I think the NFF should start, reaching out. The public affairs department should start reaching out to him already. Just maybe send him a message. Hello, how are you doing?
Congratulations,
yes, for joining Leicester. Now Nigerians are going to have eyes on him because Nigerians tend to watch a whole lot of Premier League, and with him being there now they'll start spotting. Now, if he has a very good management and the media again being on his side, I think the NFF
like we're already pushing now.
Yes, just like we're pushing right now. The NFF now should start taking notes, start jotting down. If they don't do it, I think he's still very much eligible to play. So if the Italians reach out to him, and then the fact that he played in the academy, he might be able to, decide to play for them if the NFF and the next coach don't slow to reach out to him. That is the challenge that we've been facing not just in Nigeria, but in the African football generally. We always lose our great players to all of this, Westerners.
Manu playing for the Three Lions rather than the Black Stars of Ghana.
He was even key for them in their qualification to the quarterfinals. So all of these things now is just, part of the challenges that we face in African football. So the CAF and then countries, Ghana, Cameroon, every other person, Nigeria needs to always reach out for these young players, and not just reaching out for them. When they come to play, appreciate them, pay them their allowances, right? And then have good training facilities for them when they're injured and all of that. So you take care of them. They also consider the fact that what if I come and play, looking at the backlog of players that have been injured that will just have to travel to their club site or treat themselves with their own money after we're coming to represent the country. So they look at all these things. That's why most of the times they will just I'll just go with a foreign team that would just take care of me even if I get injured.
But for Okoli breaking into the Leicester team, are you confident he might be able to break into the Leicester team, knowing fully well that he was in Atlanta for last season but couldn't break through? We know the Italian league is a little bit easier, even though it's tough, but we've got pace, too much pace in the Premier League. What's the guarantee he's going to fit in? Yeah,
I think he's going to fit in because I watched a few of his matches while he was on loan, and he is very, very swift and very fast, very strong guy. And I feel he's going to fit in because, one, for Leicester, the Foxes to reach out to him, they're looking for probably, Wilfred Ndidi might leave because he did not extend his contract with Leicester. So they are looking for that replacement, and then they've seen that quality, and they know what Nigerians bring to the table, whether you've played somewhere else or not, but that Nigerian spirit is still in you. So I think they feel that he's going to fit into the role very well, and then that's why they are going for him. So I feel, despite the fact that the Nigerian professional, the EPL is very difficult and more competitive than the Serie A, I think he can be able to take it one step at a time and then fit in.
All right, in case you're just joining us, you're watching Talk Sport on Global Television, and we're giving you all the big stories making the rounds in the exciting world of sport. We'll be going for a very quick break. After the break, when we return, we'll be taking you into the world of basketball. We'll be talking about the Tigers, forward Divine, AK, and other big stories making the rounds. Stay with us after this quick break. All right, it's action time. Let's take you to the world of basketball, and we're talking about one of Nigeria's finest players in the Tigers team. The big story here takes us to the fact that the Tigers forward, Divine AK, who just joined the Milwaukee Bucks for the NBA Summer League, has reviewed how his cousin and WNBA star Chinye Ogumike convinced him to play for Rivers Hoopers at the 2024 Basketball League Africa, which in turn raised his profile. And that was a good move there. He was Hoopers' fourth signing for BAL season fall, and he combined well with the likes of Kevin Amayo and Will Perry and other players to help Nigerian champions to a third place finish after his impressive performance, which earned him a place on the all-BAL second team. He returned to the U.S. and joined Milwaukee for the Summer League amid offers from other teams like the Dallas Mavericks. Meanwhile, the 27-year-old was, however, reluctant to play at the BAL until he spoke to Chinye, and those are his sisters, and wonderful thing the sister has done. Now he's giving credit to her for inspiring him to play for that tournament. How quick just a tournament could change your fortunes.
You know, let's say, like I always say, preparation meets opportunity. So he has been preparing behind the scene, and when the opportunity came, he grabbed it, and now it's looking well. You know, the Mavericks were at the playoffs. They actually played finals, where you have Luka and Kyrie on the same team. Now Klay Thompson now, you know, just got, you know, transferred from Golden State Warriors to the Mavericks. So it seems like the Mavericks and Milwaukee Bucks reaching out for you, that's a very, very big, you know, opportunity for your career.
That your career is moving in the right direction.
Moving the right direction. Yes. So with all of this now, we hope that he would be able to get a deal real quick. Looking at his age, he's 27, so he would be able to squeeze out, you know, 5 years or so to be able to, you know, play in the league. So it just depends on how much he wants it, and then how much work he's willing to put in. So it's just all about work. So congratulations to him on these big moves, and hopefully in the coming weeks, after probably or before the summer league is done, we would probably hear that he's probably with either Milwaukee Bucks or the Mavericks.
All right, and in case you want Divine, please let your divine spirit take you to Golden State Warriors. I'll be very glad to see you there. All right, let's move on from the world of basketball. Let's move on to Copa America. Yes, the man they call the GOAT. Not GOAT literally, but the greatest of all time, Lionel Messi. Yes, let's tell you that Lionel Messi was on target as world champions. Argentina turned on the style to beat Canada 2-0 on Tuesday and reach the Copa America final, where they look for a third straight major title. The defending Copa champions will face winners of Wednesday's semi-final battle between Uruguay and Colombia in what will be the highly anticipated final in Miami on Sunday. Sunday. The 15 times Copa champions produced their best display of the tournament in front of a capacity crowd of 82,500 at the MetLife Stadium, and as in their 2022 World Cup triumph, they look to be peaking at the perfect moment. The truth is that it's crazy what their group has done, what Argentina national team has been doing. That was what Messi had to say for Argentina. Like the report says, they're peaking at the perfect time at the knockout stages, closing up to the tournament, like we saw them at the World Cup. Can we begin to say this is probably deliberate and a pattern for true champions?
I don't think it's deliberate. I think it's chemistry, because these guys are not always together, right? You know, if they tend to struggle from the beginning and then get to the knockout stages, I think they are beginning to understand each other more. And then the fact that they get to understand each other more, it means they are going to play better. Because these guys, maybe, I think after the World Cup, when was the last time they all played together, apart from the home base?
The qualifiers.
Yeah, the qualifiers. So now, the qualifiers now is going to be mostly the home-based players, and those maybe playing in clubs close by. So I think with all of these things happening now, I feel the chemistry now is there, and then the synergy is there. So that's why we tend to see beautiful football. And Messi is always going to be Messi. So he came through for Argentines, and then they were able to, secure the win, despite the fact that someone put his money where his mouth is. Drake, a whole lot of money, $300,000, that Canada, as a Canadian that he was being patriotic. And Messi said, you put your money in the wrong place, and he ended up, losing, losing everything.
Was more intelligent than this. Playing Argentina, world
champions. So that was, that was just what it is for him. And then congratulations to Messi, world champion. And I get not my GOAT though.
All right, Cristiano Ronaldo is his GOAT. All right, let's move on to Euros, where it's no longer news that Spain did it last night as they beat France 2-1. Which Yamal making history, being the youngest player ever. But the big story right now is different now. We're talking about Spain captain Alvaro Morata has twisted his knee in a freak accident after a security guard slipped and fell into him only minutes after his country qualified for the Euro 2024 final. Spain were excellent on Tuesday night as Yamal shone in a 2-1 win over France in the Euro semi-finals of the European Championship. However, just moments after the game finished, the Spanish players gathered for their celebrations. A security guard could be seen slipping on the surface of the pitch and smashing into Morata's knee. The Atletico Madrid striker was winching in pain as his knee twisted from the impact and was visibly upset as he left the pitch. Spain are hopeful that he will be fit for Sunday's final, but face an anxious wait with the skipper due for a scan today. This comes after Morata sparked a storm in Spain's camp after threatening to quit the national team when the tournament concluded over nonsense criticism. The striker previously admitted it would be easiest for him to move abroad because of the poor treatment, and laid bare the effect on his family, including his wife and 4 young children. That's a very sad story. That's, do we say over-sabi?
I don't think
security guys sleeping on in an attempt to celebrate. He ran and slipped, and the next thing ran into Morata. That's a very freak accident.
Yeah, that was a freak accident. But on the defense now of the security guard, he was actually trying to protect him from a pitch invader. Yeah, so it was just
it wasn't deliberate.
It wasn't deliberate. So we just hope that it's not something very, very serious, severe that would
but
have to make him sit out.
Yeah, if he sits out the final and France and Spain loses,
no.
Would that security guard be held responsible?
I think the security guard will have that on his conscience, because he will feel I'm the reason why Spain lost, because Morata was absent. But the Spanish side, they always have a substitute that is even better than, you know, the first team player. But I don't think, given the fact that they are in the finals, I don't see England getting through. But if they get through, I think Spain, I actually called it that Spain are going to get to the finals and probably win. So let's just
you mentioned Spain, Germany in the final, right?
Yes, I mentioned Spain, Germany in the finals. So now, okay, Germany,
at least one of them
is going through.
So who do you think, why do you think the Three Lions might not win?
Because of, like I said yesterday, they've been playing based on luck, because it's been try and error. We all saw it, the players are complaining. So unless, you know, they've all understood each other in those unnatural role that they've been playing, and then they were like, okay, we can get this through. With the new formation, 3-5-2 formation now, if they play the same formation with Spain, with the speed that Yamal has and Williams from the right side, we go see.
Okay, so this is going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
Let's talk about someone who made history last night. Meanwhile, BBC Sports punditry team waxed a lyrical about Lamine Yamal after his stunning strike helped Spain reach the Euro 2024 final on Sunday, following a 2-1 win over France in the semi-final. Yamal made European Championship history on Tuesday night when he became the youngest scorer in the competition's history. The Spain wonder kid, aged just 16 years and 362 days, broke the record in style by finding the net with a stunning long-range strike against France. Alan Shearer, who was part of the BBC punditry team on Tuesday night, hailed the teenager starlet during the halftime. I think what made that goal special was the fact that he faked the French defenders. They moved to one side. He brought them back like J.J. Okocha would do. They now decided to use his left foot to hang the ball.
You know, from what I watched, though I didn't watch the whole match, the highlights I saw, he actually drove as if he wanted to go cross the ball, and then with his quick feet and how young he is, he returned fast, and then those playing him are aged already.
They moved, and it was hard for them to recover.
You know, they moved like the wind, and then, you know, before you could recover, the net was already dancing. So that was what we saw. The guy is very, very swift, smart, and very, very athletic, very, very fast. So congrats to him on him making history. Yes, congrats to him. I think Ronaldo was another young player who scored. I think he was 18 at the time when he represented and scored for Portugal. Yes, but now this is a 16-year-old boy doing it, and in the next couple of days, probably in the finals, he'll be turning 17, and being in the final, that is him setting another record again. Kudos to him.
Kudos. Very special 16-year-old Nigerian boys. See what she, like the Nigerian parents would say, see what he made. All right, but look at what this Yamal also did. He didn't just stop in scoring that and making history. He was so bad, he sent a message to the man he used in scoring that goal. You know, he faded a Rabiot, and Rabiot was what he used in measuring the post. So the Spanish wonder kid Lamine Yamal delivered a two-word message to France midfielder Adrien Rabiot after leading his side into the Euro 2024 final on Tuesday night. Yamal sparked Spain's comeback after they fell behind to an 8-minute rondel. Colomunia with the 16-year-old winger calling home an unstoppable strike from 25 yards in the 21st minute. 4 minutes later, Dani Olmo netted what proved to be the winner, but there was, in the build-up, the last four clash between Rabiot, who had attempted to downplay Yamal's impact at Euro 2024. Yamal's hits back after the final whistle. In the build-up to the last four clash, Rabiot had attempted to downplay his importance, but now he sent him a word to say, look at me now.
Look at me now. Who has the last laugh?
Who has the last laugh? But also, we've got some other stories still coming out of that match. Let's let you know that Marc Cucurella was loudly booed by fans from the start of Spain's semi-final with France on Tuesday night after being involved in a controversial incident in his side's quarterfinal win over host Germany. In Friday's last 8 counter, Jamal Musiala goal-bound effort was blocked by Cucurella's arm inside the penalty area with the score leveled at 1-1 in extra time. Germany players and their fans were adamant that it should have been a penalty, but referee Anthony Taylor insisted Cucurella's hand was not in an unnatural position and waved away their appeals. His decision was backed up by VAR officials. Spain went on to win thanks to the 119th minute goal from Mikel Merino as Germany were dumped out of the tournament. All right, for you, do you think it was fair or just a natural reaction by German fans and fans as regards the fact that Cucurella's hands actually did stop that ball?
Well, fans will always be fans. Fans will always come at you. Whether if you're doing well, they'll be on your side.
Yeah,
so if you cost them, they'll also want to do something to make sure they get you back. So it's just, football and people being petty. So I think that's just pettiness from the fans. But he has nothing to do. If the ref said it's not a foul, it's not a foul. But you can all decide and say it's a foul. But at the end of the day, the ref is saying it's not a foul. So for Cucurella, I like the fact that he maintained composure and he didn't let it get to him, just like Ronaldo would do whenever they start chanting Messi. He just, flips and then, lose composure. But he was composed and was excellent, being professional, defending and, helped his team, continue with the win and then get to the finals, which is more important for him at the moment.
All right, let's look at talking about Mbappe now. After that goal was scored by Yamal, we saw the look on his face. Would you say the look was of regret or envy or happiness, or couldn't just resist the goal?
Well, the thing is, he couldn't just imagine because, one, Mbappe has not been himself at his best since the injury. He hasn't been at his best. So I feel that he has an effect. And again, it was said that he has 10 days to recover. So we are not even certain that he totally even recovered properly before, he got forced to play. And then I feel psychologically, he was not just fit to, continue the competition. If they had other options, someone else who can fit in the role and carry the team, I feel they would have done, the coach would have, introduced that player. But I don't think, Mbappe was fit after that injury.
And he admitted he wasn't at his best. Rabiot also did admit
that he wasn't.
Do you think that was what made the French team look ordinary and couldn't go far?
I think the other players tried to, do their own bit and then they tried doing their best. But the fact that the whole attacking force is built around Mbappe, it's going to have its own negative impact on the team generally because he is the team captain and then he's an attacker. So naturally, when a midfielder gets the ball, they look for him to just give him the pass because, one, he's got pace and all, but they didn't know that the same Mbappe that we had, in our first competition before the injury, it's not the same Mbappe that is, playing. And then they struggled to get to the quarterfinals, and I think they should just, go back home with their head high. They should end up coming out maybe in the third position or fourth.
All right, let's wrap up the program with the talk about England today facing Holland. People are saying this is time for Harry Kane to at least stand up because he has not been part of the Three Lions, as in he has not delivered the goods thus far. What's your prediction for today's game? And how key is the officiating, the fans, and the players and the managers for both teams tonight?
Okay, my advice for the both managers, let me start from that angle, is for them to always play their players in their natural positions. I think that is going to help them, and then playing in natural positions and not just introducing something new like formations. Now, the Three Lions complained about the 3-5-2 formation that Granit Southgate introduced, which they are not used to because most of these players play a probably 5-3-2 formation or a 4-3-3 formation or a 4-4-2 formation. So with all these things now, they would be able to, attack and also defend at the same time and having space to cover. So now, looking at the fans now, fans are always very wild.
Are we likely to see any hooliganism conflict here? Because we know we're told the Dutch fans are going to outnumber the Three Lions fans 80-60 probably at the stadium. Do you see likely violence?
Well, from the past record, we've not had history of the, Dutch fans being hooliganism and all of that. We just have records of German fans and England fans. So we're hoping not to get that from the fans. So for the players now, or for Harry Kane, he has not been at his best this Euros, and then now it's actually going to be time for him to step up. If he does step up, then there might be a chance that they would, qualify. And for Jude Bellingham, who has been under investigation by the X-rated comments that he made, or signs that he made when he scored.
Yes.
So all of those gestures now, we don't know if he's going to be featuring because the investigation is still ongoing. But the bottom line is, I'm just hoping to see a very a beautiful football to be played tonight. And I think yes.
In terms of officiating, quickly, we know that Zaya, who is going to be the officiating, has already issue of match fixing in 2005 allegation against him. Is that going to affect the officiating tonight?
I know, given the fact that he's in the media space now, I think he's going to, be more particular and very, very clinical with his officiating today.
We're likely not to see any change of mind by UEFA before match time.
If we see one, that means UEFA were not so keen that he was going to, deliver the goods. So if that happens, that means they've investigated and then they saw that, okay, this guy and his team are biased. So for this kind of competition and this crucial stage, we shouldn't, have something like that on our plates, because if that happens, we wouldn't maybe have a very beautiful game of football to watch this evening, and we won't see the main team that worked hard at the final.
Finally, in terms of players, which set of players are going to be under immense pressure? The Dutch team or the English team who have been underperforming, or the Dutch team who have been on fire? And how key is going to be Gakpo for the Dutch team?
It's like a final before the final for the Dutch and the England side, right? So I think the Dutch side have been on fire, and then they would still want to continue on that pace. So the England side now wants to pull themselves up and then prove to all the critics that yes, despite the fact that we've not been performing well, but tonight we are going to show you guys that we are not just three lions because it's easy to pronounce, but we are three lions because of the past records of the former superstars likes of Beckham that have been and won that jersey. So I think they will just want to prove themselves tonight. All
right, it's going to be an exciting night matchup tonight. The Dutch taking on the Three Lions of England. It's going to be Southgate against Ronald Koeman, two ex-players, and it's going to be the English Premier League against the Dutch League. It's going to be the best of all. So tonight, put your money where your mouth is. My name is Anthony Momodu. We want to say thank you for joining us on today's exciting edition of the program Talk Sport on Global Television. Special thanks to the entire production team, Samson at the MCR. I've got Sebastian behind the scene and also Cynthia behind the scene, making sure that everything came out smoothly this morning. And special thanks to my man who does the business of breaking it down, making football and sports look easy like biscuit. Talking about Samuel Odi. My name is Anthony Momodu, the King of Sport. Good morning.